Ogeni, the issue of rates increase does not apply because the rates increase was quite minimal. Because what we're doing is 0.05% of developed, of undeveloped site value. And we even did a capping, because for the larger ratepayers, we said that if they increase almost double, or rather doubles your rates, you will not pay beyond that. And so it's a very small category of people. Most ratepayers is 10,000, 15, 20, you know, but the defaulters are the 100 million. And you know, I don't know if data privacy is an issue. I would name people here that someone is well-to-do, is driving a big car, they're doing business, they owe us 12 million shillings, and they don't want to pay. And we told people, even these rates you can pay month by month in arrears, you know, in installments, you know. So really, it is that issue of can't pay, won't pay until you get me. But today, I'm very happy.
Governor, the way you are talking about those big people, I'm looking at Cherage and wondering whether he knows one of them.
Maybe he's one of them, you know, he's a big guy.
Chair, you need to protect me. Focus. Let us remain on focus. You know, when you're hunting for antelope, go for the antelope, not the squirrel.
But I hope you're not hunting. Chair, there are big names, political names, big institutions, and something people do not know. This law today does not exempt people like golf clubs. You know, golf clubs are refusing to pay. Huge golf clubs, all these rich people go there to complain about the portal. But they themselves have arrears. If I list for you, Karen, Muraiga, Royal here, which if I auction it, it can make a very nice park for the Kibra people. You know, it can be a very nice recreational facility. They're not paying. Yet, the biggest complainers of lack of service delivery are members. Now, this new rating act only exempts religious institutions. And those religious institutions that have a business entity are not exempt in the business entity. If you go here to Holy Family Basilica, they're collecting a lot in their parking silo. So we only charge them rates for that part. But for the rest of the church, no. So it's only religious. You saw my staff went to the Freemasons. Freemason is not, it's not a religious institution. It's a gentleman's club. It even has a bar inside. But you see, these are the people who are also the loudest.
Do you say people who are going to church don't drink?
No, it's not registered. All religious institutions are registered in Kenya through the Register of Societies, all of them. And so, people claiming those exemptions yet conducting business, you know, let's be fair. Senator Sifuna, you represent Mama Mboga, who comes early in the morning to Wakulima, and she's paying her 50 bob. But people
you can't flog this horse further.
No, the point is
made. Can I just
one was with the debt swaps, Senator Cherage asked. I have not answered your last question.
Yes, true.
There's not been good progress. There's not been good progress. We've done numerous meetings. One example is, I explained yesterday in a different committee, Chair, how I was going to be very happy having moved Nairobi from 119 billion pending bills to 0, because what was going to happen, I've already reduced from 119 to 86. Now from the 86, the Supreme Court ruled that Nairobi County is owed for the Makasi garrison. It was ruled that it is ours, and we said the military must now start paying for it. And the value of it, in my assessment and the assessment of our team, was 80. It has come down to 75. That negotiation stopped there. But if you press upon them to pay, as even to say to pay an additional 10 billion every year or 20, it will come to deliver services to the people. Because the court found that is a property Nairobi bought for value from Kayole Estates. That time it was 40,000 pounds. So these are the things that can really help us be able to serve the people better. Chair, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Chair, just follow up, because when we finish the issue of revenue, I think we'll be done. Chair, yes. Governor, I sympathize with you with the issue of rating, and we are back the statutory instrument. But I am jittery, because your potential should be 65.1 billion. If I accept the property rate, when you come to parking fees, your potential should be 2.5, but you are collecting 2 billion, just as an example. The hospital and public health fees, you should be collecting 6.2 billion, but you are collecting 1.5 billion. The building plan approvals, and I see many buildings coming up everywhere in this city, you should be collecting 6.1 billion, but you are collecting 1.35 billion. On the issue of business trading license, the potential is 16.0 billion, but you're collecting 2.7 billion. This issue, and this analysis of your revenue, the liquor licensing is very interesting because I normally see estimated potential of 8.4 billion, but you are collecting 338 million. I'm just giving breakdown, exempting the rating, the property rate. So does it mean, one, how do you, through the chair, how do you ensure that this potential is maximized? Number two, for example, like liquor licensing. I know most Nairobians like sheree. And whenever I drive around, you see quiver, you see what, and even your senator with indulgence has always referred himself as Waziri wa Sheree. I thought you should have at least corrected 5 billion to 8.5 billion. So what are you doing to maximize this other revenue that you don't need the rating at? Finally, you have said that you are moving to from non-cash basis. Governor, we saw one of your senior officials, although this is a matter under investigation, was found with 65.6 million, although I'm told it was more. You never know what happens in this country. And it's a senior county official, and you are talking about moving to non-cash. Why would a senior official be found with more than 65 million in a house? What is, the point is, I don't need to deal with the investigating part, but you are talking about non-collection through cash. So my concern, if you find a senior official and you have said we are moving to cashless, then some of us doubt, considering finding 65 million with one person is very, very dangerous.
Thank you, Chair. Let me deal with the substantive issues. Yes, the potential in those revenue streams that you have mentioned. I'm not going to agree with the figures because that was just an estimate, but it is high. But remember, you also need resources to collect resources. You know, you need to invest in equipment. You need, and especially for what we call the DCU, the debt collection unit. We are now getting into leasing to have more vehicles for those teams that go to the ground. And so the potential is there, but of course we also don't want to overtax Nairobians. We're not raising taxes. We've not raised for the last 2 or 3 cycles, but we're expanding where people can actually be able to pay. An example that counties have not explored well, I think apart from Kisumu and maybe Lamu, if I'm not wrong, is what you call entertainment tax. I think Kwale, one of the coastal counties. You know, the constitution says that counties can levy business and property fees, and B, it says entertainment taxes. If an entertainment tax of whatever percentage is put on a lot of what you'd call entertainment, it is a potential for all counties to actually raise some money, and it can be collected even by KRA, you know, as a percentage as they collect their VAT, without overburdening Kenyans. Yes, Senator Ergei, Nairobians love sherehe. There's been an increase in liquor, especially this financial year, again because of the same process. We now moved to liquor pay. Now liquor pay is a system that is digital, that all of those who are applying to run these businesses are now using. They're very happy with it. You know, it's very hard to hear people you're regulating coming to say thank you for doing that. I think finally on the officer found with money, it is not revenue he was found with. I don't think it's being investigated. But in Nairobi, first, we don't condone that. And I condemned it completely. I suspended the officer immediately. We've seen cases of people being found with money from national government, from other counties before, whether it was bribes collected from people, etc. It is wrong. And we must do everything we can do to tighten systems to prevent that. Of course, as I said, even in that in my statement, there's a space for personal culpability. You know, I saw the media, my friends here, trying to now run with it, saying SAKAJA's officer found, like, surely, how do I know what you have in a bucket in your house or under your bed?
But he's your officer.
I have 19,000 officers.
You know, so they were right, he's your officer.
But when someone else was found, KPA, they didn't say so-and-so's officer found with 500 million, you know? It is very unfair when it comes to counties.